Hey YouTubers, how's it going? I know. I said on one of the other videos this one would be next, but couldn't help it. Anyways, it's here now. So, Jobmate drill press, brand new, factory sealed box. Got it for a good deal on Kijiji. Turns out it was from a buddy of mine. Yeah, that's really sweet. So, anyhow, I already had a Jobmate drill press. And I've got my big industrial press here, 13-inch, and I got a 16-inch Delta. But I wanted another Jobmate drill press because I ended up giving my other one to my wife. And I have a purpose in mind for this one. And, well, a couple purposes actually. And I still might pick up one more drill press after this in the 8-inch range. And probably another Jobmate because I really like them. They're a decent little drilling machine. Let me just open this box up here. They are made in China. Brand new Canadian tire. They're about $90. They go on sale. Various prices. When I actually originally bought mine, my first one, this is actually number 3 for me, but my first one I turned in, I stripped it down for the motor because I needed it for a wood lathe that my wife had at the time. So anyways, we have our table, and some hardware that just hit the floor. That's knob for something. Oh, that's for the top. These things are always packed in a lot of grease. That owner's manual. We've got the base. And of course all of our mounting hardware and our key for our chuck. And of course we've got our chuck here. That's good. Good. And there's our base. And there's our head piece. I'll just get this down on the ground here. Alright. I gotta tell you, if you get a chance to pick up one of these drill presses, by all means, don't be afraid to buy one. They're a very cool drill press. Let's see how much battery time I got left here. Not very much. So I probably won't get much of this assembled. But it's pretty idiot-proof to put it together. You definitely want to wipe down all that grease. Let me get the towel. There's our piece there. Let's grab our base for this. Now a lot of this you can clean up, get some carb cleaner or some WD-40, that'll get the rest of that Chinese oil off of there. Good spindle bearings, good. Alright. So now our base sits here. A little bag of hardware bolts. I'm hoping we can do a lot of this. If this video shuts down for any reason, don't worry about it, because all the information I pretty much want to get out to you is here, and I'm trying to stand off to the side as best I can and assemble this for you here. Now we've got 3 main washers and 3 lock washers. So you want to put on a lock washer first, and then a regular washer. I've assembled a few of these so I know how they go together. you got to make sure all 3 holes line up there. And just gently start threading them in, because you don't want to cross thread anything. Now, like I was saying, for the money, I mean, you can't really ask for a much better deal for an 8-inch drill press. Mastercraft drill presses are about the same quality range as the Jobmates, for the most part. I actually prefer the spindles and the bearing packs more in the Jobmate than I do in the Canadian Tire version. And the Jobmate one's a hell of a lot cheaper. Even on sale prices, it's still a lot cheaper than the Mastercraft one. Trademaster, Delta, they both make 8-inch presses. And they're also equally good. I have no real qualms there. I'm going to take a lucky guess here. Should have been a 12. Yeah, that's 12. So, now when you're putting a drill press together, you want these bolts tight, but you don't want to do much more than flatten that lock washer, and just a bit of an extra snug. That's pretty tight. So there's really, like I said, it's a no-brainer putting this thing together. They give you all the tools except for the wrench. I guess they figure you got to buy something. But you get the Allen keys that you're going to need for all your setup, because you're going to have to lock the head down in place. You have 2 holes here down on the base that you can use for bolting this down to a table to keep it steady, and you're going to want to do that, especially if you're going to use it as a polishing machine, or you're going to put a brass wheel on it or whatever. You want to make sure this thing's not going to go flying around on you. So that's tight, so we'll just double check. That's good. Oh yeah, that's good there. This one here. Alright. So, that's done. Next is the table. Get this out of the bag. And we'll just wipe down the table a bit. Not a whole lot of stuff on there, so that's good. Like I said, real no-brainer to put these together. Next, we're going to put the head on. Make sure these Allen keys are set out, and they are. There's our head. Now what we want to do is visually try and see that this is centered. Okay? Now our table's pretty squared up, so we're okay there. Now let's wipe down this grease here. Okay. Now take a larger Allen key. It's for locking down the head with. That's good. What I do is I get the face up flat and I check and I see how good that looks there. Okay, that looks pretty solid. So we'll proceed to lock this down. Now, initially what I do is I just snug them up just a little bit so it doesn't move. And then we'll put the bar handles in. set there. Oh, that's actually nice. Nice and tight. Now there's a bit of transfer oil on this, so we want to get that off. So we want to wipe that off really good, because the chuck is compression fit, because it's tapered, and we don't want it to zip off on us. So we want to try and get that as dry as possible. And how we do that is we take some acetone, because it'll strip oil off of anything. And I saw, I guess I don't have it. No, I got another. Yeah, there's a clean spot on this towel. So we're all good. Some acetone on there. We wipe that down. Completely oil free. While we're at it, we take any leftover acetone on here. Clean off the table surface. All clean. Now for our chuck. Again, the chuck may have some stuff in there. So what I like to do with the chuck, I'll take the rag here, get to a really clean spot. Make sure that's nice and wet. And I'm going to rotate this into the chuck hole. And I'll just let that sit for a second while it dries out. Looks good and clean. So, I'm going to place the chuck up in there just like that. Very simple. We're going to then remove the table out of the way, and then we're going to get a rubber mallet. We're going to hold this up. We're just going to tap on this gently. Okay? That ain't coming out. So, now if you want to see how good your alignment is, you can probably take a pretty good guess, but now I'm out by just a couple of a degree. So I can loosen this off. Now your table is always going to have some outage to it, but the important thing I'm going after here is to try and get the head to look as if it's parallel as possible over top of the table, so the table and everything sits as parallel as it can get. Go a larger drill. I'm going to have to put a drill in there. Now we know that that's fairly square just by looking at it, right about there. I'm pretty good at eyeballing stuff. So that put our head out just a little bit. It's not entirely, it doesn't have to be extremely perfect when it comes to the left and right here, but try and get it as close as you can. Because when you got to drill through the center of things, you want to make sure your head's centered, but you also want to make sure that your table is going to be as centered as possible too, especially when you got a vise on here. Centering is very important. So you may or may not have to make other adjustments, who knows. It's all different. But that is how you set up a brand spanking new Jobmate drill press. Whoop. Lost a bit of fluid. It's okay. Good thing it dries quick. Now let's plug this puppy in. Oh, we forgot one part. I'm going to put this in. This is our knob and our screw for the lid. Okay, and our speed from the factory, we can go from 730 RPM, 1100 RPM, 1450, 2100, 3150. If you're going to drill steel at 730, use a lot of cutting fluid. I really don't like to see guys drill at 730. I don't even like to do it. That's why I have bigger machines that can drop down to like 300 RPM. But if you got to really drill steel, fine. Brass is something you'd want to drill at a very high speed. Aluminum I actually drill at higher speeds too. Usually not 730, but it's a little bit too fast for aluminum because you got to watch aluminum come melt. But anyway, let's fire this thing up. Right now from the factory it is preset at 1450 RPM, and make sure our key is there. Tighten down the head all the rest of the way. Okay. Runs nice and quiet. You gotta love it. These things are nice little machines. You know, barely any kind of movement at all in there. This is a very well built Jobmate. They get better and better at making these things. I've seen these things where they had a bit of quill swap, and it can be a little annoying. This one's got, virtually nothing. I can't really even move that with my own hand, so that's actually pretty good. So, decent. And it's got stops here built in for depth stops. And on the side you also have a gauge. It goes from 0 to 2 inches. And right now I got the stop set for about roughly 1 5/8, close to 1 7/8. But you can adjust these things down. And again, you can have it stop, 1 3/4, and so on. So very good little price machine. It is worth the $90 at retail. It is worth whatever price it is on sale too. The table does tilt. You can undo the big bolt here. You can tilt the table 45 degrees, left or right. Mount small vices on these things, little drill press vices. There's a small cross slide vise that'll fit on this too, from what I've been told. I haven't put one on. My smallest one is actually a 3-inch, so probably a 2-inch one would probably be best suited. But if you got small projects and stuff to do and whatnot, this thing will handle them. And like I said, this is the number 3 for me. And the first one got stripped for the motor for a lathe, but hey, that's life. But I still have my second one that my wife has. She uses it for the wood grips that we make, and this one's going to have its own jobs for me because I want my own small press for myself, for my own stuff. And hey, there you go. Happy YouTubing. Leave your comments. Not all Jobmate stuff is great, but some of their stuff is just the bomb. I have Jobmate Dremels, and I tell you, I torture the hell out of them making wood grips, and they're still going and going, So, they do make some decent quality tools, and for the price range and for what this is, for size and everything else, when you compare it against other brands that cost a hell of a lot more money, you're getting the exact same quality in those other ones. I've seen them, I've checked them myself, and you're getting the same features, same quality, so why not go with a Jobmate, save that extra money, and you're getting the exact same machine. And that's quiet. I think maybe we might have enough battery power. Let's kick this thing up to 3150. Okay. This one's actually got a lot stronger spring on it too for the motor. There we go. Okay, 3150, everything goes to the top. Love breaking in brand new machines. So, to change the belt to re-add the tension, you pull back on the motor a bit. That spring will actually do quite a bit of the work for you. So, because you want some tension there. So, we can tighten that motor up just a bit more. (3,150 RPM), and it's actually still fairly quiet. Mine is vibrating my table a little bit, but not much vibration there. And the full drill chuck and everything seems to be running pretty good. So, not bad. Once again, happy YouTubing. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.